Hello. In this video we're going to discuss dangers of tearing holes in the fabric of space, part 1. So, in this video we're going to discuss the signs of tearing holes in the fabric of space on Earth, that someone has the technology and is using it. Unfortunately, it is in the wrong hands. It is in the hands of wicked people who are stupid. Then we're going to discuss how this is a danger to the entire universe, not just the solar system and Earth. And in a later video, we'll discuss history, the previous history branch, history 1111A. So it's 1111A. This history is history 1111B. So, the signs of tearing holes in the fabric of space. People may not be aware of this, but sinkholes don't just appear. They happen for a reason. Water contacting dirt does not produce a sinkhole, because what happens is it will erode some of the soil, but not as much as what you get from a sinkhole. Sinkholes are large holes. What are they? Well, essentially it is a sign for very bad people to use as a form of navigation. So they're operating in another dimension and they grab a bite of Earth at a location which produces a sinkhole, and that helps them figure out where they are in relation to this universe. So that's one sign. Another sign would be if you were to see a person, a vehicle, an aircraft, a ship or a building, or a town or a ship vanish. So wormholes is one way, but from heaven we're not operating in this manner at all. This is strictly technology that's on Earth, tearing holes in the fabric of space. Another sign is a green flare from the upper atmosphere. So they fire a green flare so that they can work out where they are in relation to this universe, and they have contact with people within this universe who radio them their position in relation to where we are. The problems associated with tearing holes in the fabric of space is that it is a danger to everyone and the entire universe. It is a very, very dangerous technology. It is forbidden, in fact. It shouldn't be used at all. It was not on the tech tree for humankind. It was something that was discovered in the 1930s and 1940s. This resulted in an experiment in the United States where they tried to hide a ship from radar using tessellation. But instead what they did was tore a hole in the fabric of space and put it into the safety dimension. This technology is unstable. So although people might think they can tear a hole in the fabric of space and they can just make things vanish, things can go awry very suddenly if you get one thing wrong, and suddenly a tear can just keep going. So that's the other thing people need to be aware of. So tearing a hole in the fabric of space is interdimensional in nature and can result in interdimensional matter transfer diffusion. There is debris in the safety dimension because of these villains playing with this technology. If you want to know whether Tunguska Comet is, it is in fact in the safety dimension, but that's because heaven put it there in order to protect Earth and humankind and all life. So dangers to the universe. Well, firstly, the planet can be destroyed because of tearing a hole in the fabric of space. In the upper atmosphere, if it cuts a hole in the atmosphere, it would cause explosive super decompression of the planet and kill everything and destroy the planet. If they were to tear a hole in the fabric of space and it were to go through the ground into the planet's shell and damage the gravity crystals down there, then again there'd be loss of atmosphere, explosive super decompression, loss of the planet. If they were to tear a hole in the fabric of space near the moon, in the moon, and damage the moon and damage the gravity crystals on the moon, it would turn over Earth's weather system and you would wind up with 4,000 mile per hour winds, which makes it unlivable. Just one big 4,000 mile per hour wind. And if this equipment were used in other ways in the past, it has put planet Earth without its atmosphere into the safety dimension. Alright? And that's why we see the sign 1111. Because the Holy Spirit's representative is informing people that a biblical event that is relevant today happened. And it happened at exactly 11 minutes past 11. When that occurred, they tore a hole in the fabric of space and put the planet without its atmosphere into the safety dimension at the same location where the Tunguska Comet is. And the Tunguska Comet's debris wound up inside the planet's shell, destroying everything that's inside through interdimensional matter transfer diffusion. The planet should have gone into explosive super decompression, but due to a miracle involving a safety protocol, one single line of code inside the Holy Spirit's representative, who is a living artificial intelligence time machine, through that one device with that one line of code, it was possible that when this event occurred, the entire universe was put into idle time or perpendicular time, and everyone's lives were saved except for those who were killed by the tear. And that particular situation, in the previous history, they had towers across the planet. There were 12 that were 100 meters above sea level, and each one was a generator that was used for tearing in the fabric of space. And when they fired it, it put the entire planet into the safety dimension. When they did this, the villains were in underground bunkers, and the person in charge is in fact Satan Actual. So Satan Actual and witches and Wiccans had scientists working for them who came up with this technology, and that's how they used it. There's a lot of other horrific things that happened in that history involving the safety dimension. So there's a reason why we call it the safety dimension, is because it is a buffer between this universe and the storage dimension, which we refer to as hell. If you tear a hole in the fabric of space from this dimension, you'd wind up in the safety dimension. If you tear a hole in the fabric of space from the safety dimension, because of safety protocols from the Holy Spirit, it would not allow them to go into any other dimension. They'd wind up back in this universe. So in history 1111A, the planet was put into the safety dimension. And what happened was the Holy Spirit's representative detected this through one person as the safety protocol was activated and teleported that person into heaven. And then immediately they worked out that something terrible had happened on earth. It happened at precisely 11 minutes past 11. And the Holy Spirit's representative placed the entire universe and heaven into idle time. And then heaven's spy agency assessed the information. And then a request was placed with God to be able to fix the problem through one of the scientists in heaven. And then a group was sent back in time, 400 years, to fix the problem. And then when the event was about to occur, 20 minutes before 11 minutes past 11 p.m. New Zealand time, an assault was carried out from heaven, and all of those towers were destroyed except one. And the villains were captured and brought to justice and removed from this planet. The dangers we have in this history is that those villains have that technology again and are clearly using it. But they're also a danger to the entire universe, because it's possible to tear a hole in the fabric of space, and if something goes wrong, it can continue tearing, put everything in this universe into the safety dimension. If that happens, every star goes out in the entire universe, and all life is gone. So heaven has got safety protocols and rules of engagement regarding this type of scenario. And we'll talk about that later. I'm the Archangel Daniel, and I'm from heaven.